Hey, Truth Seekers. Recently, I did a post on Chris Borland, his retirement, and some NFL curiosities. I've also done video posts on similar topics: the death of Vince Lombardi, the death of Reggie White, the death of Junior Seau, who died May 2nd, 2012, also fits right in to what we're talking about. If you're not familiar with Junior Seau, he is one of the NFL's all-time greatest linebackers, the same position that Chris Borland played. So, in the Chris Borland post, we talked about how the number 52 was of significance to linebackers. So many great linebackers have worn that number. It's often said the linebackers are the heart of the defense. The word heart has a simple English gematria of 52. The name Junior Seau with Pythagorean gematria sums to 52. And notice he died on 5/2, May 2nd, supposedly of a suicide by shooting himself in the heart. And we'll get more on that. So I also want to point out that he played for 3 teams in his career. The Chargers, who he played the majority of his career with, the Dolphins, and he finished his career with the Patriots. Both Chargers and Dolphins have 52 gematria with the S exception, and I should have wrote it up here. Without the S exception, both teams sum to 43. That's the age Junior Seau died at. He died at 43 years of age. So all these numbers line up with his name and his career. What's also interesting is San Diego, where he played. They have a Pythagorean gematria of 38, S exception of 47, and with simple English gematria, San Diego equals 74. So other numbers we often see coded in deaths. The word death itself sums to 38. 47 and 74 both have a lot to do with martyrdom. And for his career, he always wore the number 55. The word numerology equals 55, as does the word Satan. And no, I'm not saying Junior Seau is Satan. What I am saying is these players don't even get to pick their numbers. They have numbers put on them. The word devil, similar word, has a gematria of 52. When Junior Seau died, they said his suicide was reminiscent of the death of Dave Duerson. Dave Duerson is another person with a 33 gematria name. S exception, it's 42. Other numbers importance. Dave Duerson equals 47 or 56. It said that Junior Seau didn't leave a suicide note, but he referenced this song which had to do with being burnt out on one's life. You know? A commenter made this observation: Seau works out to 9 and 11. But, True Seeker, this stuff is tragic. These are men being murdered and having their deaths blamed on assassination. After his death, GQ did an article saying he was suffering from all this drug use, depression, weird behavior. Then other stories came out that he wasn't abusing any drugs at all. That, in fact, he was just using sleep pills because he'd had a problem with sleeping recently, but there was no other signs of drug abuse. There were also articles that said that he had no brain damage as previously reported. So we got all this conflicting information about Junior Seau. Possibly he committed suicide because he was depressed from being away from the game. Then we heard that maybe it was from damage to his brain from the sport of football. Remember, this happened in 2012 when this concussion talk was really starting to heat up. Now in 2015, we're hearing a lot more of it. It's become a lot more of a mainstream talking point. The player who just retired, Chris Borland, said he did it over brain health and his future. I want to point out that Junior Seau finished his career with the New England Patriots, who won Super Bowl 49. In that score, the sum of the score was 52. And the highlight of the game was the Lions' roar at halftime. Roar also has a gematria of 52. Somehow, True Seeker, I think all this stuff comes together. 52 is a very important number to football. Some people might say football is the heart of America right now. Where would we be without our Super Bowls and Sunday and Monday distractions? And Saturday as well with college football. In the book 1984, George Orwell said it would only take football and beer to make the people complacent. It's pretty much true in America. Again, here is Junior Seau's career. It began in the year 90. 90, one of only two numbers with a gematria of 33. 12 years in San Diego, 3 years in Miami, 4 more in New England. Very long football career. His career lasted 19 years. Junior Seau's career lasted 19 years. I want you to notice that the name Seau has a gematria of 19. The date he died on, May 2nd, 2012, has a numerology of 19. 5 plus 2 is 7, plus 12 is 19. Junior Seau played 19 years. Seau, the name equals 19. He died on a date with 19 numerology. Let's close out by looking at this ABC news coverage of Junior Seau's suicide. And let's remember, this was not a suicide. This is yet another murder.
You're watching America This Morning, America's #1 early morning news.
And this morning, there are questions about what may have led to the tragic death of a beloved athlete. Junior Seau was found dead in his Southern California home of an apparent...
True Seeker, the word suicide, with the S exception, sums to 43. Again, Junior Seau died at the age of 43. Chargers without the S exception sums to 43. This is how they do it. Killing by the numbers. Don't take it from me. Go look at the album by The Police. Both the word police and sting sum to 33. Look at their album from 1983. Last song on it is Killing by the Numbers. It's a song essentially about the death of Junior Seau, only it came out decades before he died.
Suicide. ABC's Tamon Bradley has details.
This morning, a search for answers into why NFL great Junior Seau may have taken his own life. The medical examiner hopes to provide more information about the 43-year-old's death, perhaps as soon as today. Police say Seau died of an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. His family and former teammates are in shock.
Take me, leave my son alone.
My brother was a loving brother, a caring citizen.
It doesn't make sense, man. I just know how great a heart this guy had.
After retiring from the NFL...
How great of heart he had. Remember, the number heart, or the word heart, has a gematria of 52. Another very important number in this story.
In 2010, Seau survived a 100-foot fall in his SUV down a seaside cliff, hours after his arrest for investigation of domestic violence. Seau apparently joins an alarming number of former football players who've committed suicide, 4 in little more than a year. All of them showed signs of...
True Seeker, without even looking into it, I'd bet all these men were killed, honestly. Probably not a suicide here between them. Probably 4 murders, 4 homicides, all written off as suicides. This is what needs to stop. People being murdered and it blamed on suicide. That is the ultimate insult to anybody's life. To be killed and then have everybody know that your legacy is you killed yourself, when it's not true.
Head trauma.
We think, in some instances, that head trauma could be related to depression, and depression at times can be a cause of suicide.
It's not just NFL greats like Seau who are at risk. According to the Centers for Disease Control, high school football players...
Do you notice how they just put number 52 on the screen? You think this is an accident? This is just some background that's not even related to this sports team. Let's just throw a 52 up there. Why not? This is how your media operates.
High school football players suffer 2 million brain injuries a year. Seau often advised young players about facing adversity.
I want to say to you guys to stick it out and to know that there's going to be a time when football's going to end.
Seau's death follows the suicide of former Chicago Bears player Dave Duerson, who shot himself in the chest and in a suicide note asked...
Dave Duerson, the person whose name we just broke down, Dave's 14, Duerson's 33, summing to 47, numbers we find so often.
That his brain be studied, Rob. And certainly, Taman, these days, the NFL is so concerned about players' safety, particularly head injuries. But what is the league doing to actually better protect its players?
Well, that's right, Rob. The NFL says that it takes head injuries very seriously, and the NFL has changed its guidelines in dealing with concussions. They're also, Rob, trying to attack the culture of concussions so players understand it's not okay to simply walk away from them. But the Associated Press polled 44 NFL players, and half of them said they'd try to conceal a concussion so they could play. And also, Rob, Seau's official stats, rather unbelievably, after 20 seasons, do not list a single concussion.
That is amazing, considering how many years he played and the number of tackles during that time. Taman Bradley, thanks for that report. As you can imagine, thousands of sports figures and fans both are mourning Seau on Twitter. John Elway tweeted, quote, "Junior was a true competitor and a special player." Also, skateboarding legend Tony Hawk said this, "You were an inspiration for turning success into greater good. Thank you for making San Diego a better place for youth." And of course, we will have much more on this story coming up later today on GMA.
So there's the mainstream coverage, Truth Seeker, presented as a suicide, possibly because of head injuries. But no, this is another murder by the numbers, and then someone being falsely accused of committing suicide. The truth must be exposed. Until next